The Mimic Men by V.S. Naipaul, read by Sam Dastor for Naxos Audiobooks. 1. When I first came to London, shortly after the end of the war, I found myself after a few days in a boarding house called a private hotel in the Kensington High Street area. The boarding house was owned by Mr. Shylock. He didn't live there, but the attic was reserved for him, and Liene, the Maltese housekeeper, told me he occasionally spent a night there with a young girl. "These are English girls," Liene said. She herself lived in the basement with her illegitimate child, an early post-war adventure. Between attic and basement, pleasure and its penalty, we boarders lived, narrowly. I paid Mr. Shylock 3 guineas a week for a tall, multi-mirrored, book-shaped room with a coffin-like wardrobe, and for Mr. Shylock, the recipient each week of 15 times 3 guineas, the possessor of a mistress and of suits made of cloth so fine I felt I could eat it, I had nothing but admiration. I was not used to the social modes of London, or to the physiognomy and complexions of the north, and I thought Mr. Shylock looked distinguished, like a lawyer or businessman or politician. He had the habit of stroking the lobe of his ear and inclining his head to listen. I thought the gesture was attractive. I copied it. I knew of recent events in Europe. They tormented me, and although I was trying to live on £7 a week, I offered Mr. Shylock my fullest, silent compassion. In the winter, Mr. Shylock died. I knew nothing until I heard of his cremation from Liene, who was herself affronted and a little fearful for the future, that she had not been told by Mrs. Shylock of the event of the death. It was disquieting to me, too, this secrecy and swiftness of a London death, and it also occurred to me that up to that time in London I had not been aware of death, had never seen those funeral processions which, rain or shine, had enlivened all our afternoons on the Caribbean island of Isabella. Mr. Shylock was dead then. But in spite of Liene's fears, the routine of his boarding-house did not change. Mrs. Shylock didn't appear. Liene continued to live in the basement. A fortnight later she invited me to the christening of her child. We had to be at the church at 3, and after lunch I went up to my narrow room to wait. It was very cold. It went dark in the room, and I noticed that the light outside was strange. It was dead, but seemed to have an inner lividness. Then it began to drizzle.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?